Oh, let's see. But there seems to be a fifth element.
Every time they do it, all 6 times. Well, no, we got to go get her because she's the fifth element.
Well, hello there, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Confused Breakfast Podcast. Do you remember the pure joy of a trip to the radio rental store as a kid?
Yeah.
Get it.
You don't, because what's a radio rental store?
Never been
The
there.
excitement of walking down the aisles, browsing the names in the artwork, and finally picking out the movie you were going to take home with you. Sure, it's hard to beat the ease of the modern era and streaming platforms where you don't even have to leave your house, but there was something truly special about making that trip in a flying cab, picking a movie out by hand, and watching when you got home. On this podcast, we revisit and dissect some of our favorite childhood movies from that magical era to see if they still move us the way they did as kids. I'm your host, Mike Schulte, and joining me, as always, two dudes who prefer cats to the real thing. Shaun Pryor and AJ Venz, how the heck are ya?
Cats to the real thing.
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
Wait a second.
Uh-huh.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty fun.
You see what I'm saying? I'm just but it's just a quote from the movie.
Just a
Yeah.
quote from the movie.
No, I get it.
You can't get in trouble because you just quoted a movie.
That's all it is.
That's
right?
a Ruby Rod quote.
Ruby Rod.
It's got to be.
Ruby Rod did not say that. Did you guys even watch this movie?
No,
I did off memory.
it's from like one of his colleagues or
Yeah,
something.
it's his colleague.
He's-
It's Fingers.
Fingers.
Fingers says
Fingers.
that.
Come on, Fingers. Give me a break about the cab. Give me a break. I'm trying to quit smoking. You owe me food. I don't know. I'm trying. It's just Bruce Willis. And then I just keep reverting into this. Real New York.
Yeah, Brooklyn.
Brooklyn.
Well, boys, on this episode, we discuss the most expensive visual effects budget movie ever at the time of its release. A movie that showed the future as very funny instead of dark and ultra dangerous. A movie that also showed a bunch of young boys what the perfect woman looked like. Our first Bruce Willis movie, if you can believe it.
Whoa.
I don't think we've had him in a movie yet.
We haven't done Hudson Hawk yet?
I do not think so. We're, of course, talking about 1997's The Fifth Element.
Well, dang it. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for another nostalgic journey to the past with The Confused Breakfast. Sit back, relax, and enjoy wherever you are in the world. Take it away, boys.
Well, if you are new to this podcast, we're going to be reviewing The Fifth Element scene by scene with a modern eye. But in order to do that properly, we got to talk about nostalgia first. We got to talk about the first time we saw this movie, what our thoughts were about it, and what our rating is. AJ, I'm going to start with you, man. Tell us all about the nostalgia piece.
I'm so excited to talk about this nostalgically because this blew my mind as a child. I mean, it blew my mind, guys. My mind was blown. I thought, like, for some reason, like, Bruce Willis was just, like, kind of an ultimate action star to me. I don't know why. It's not because of Die Hard or anything, because I didn't really... I'm pretty sure I watched Fifth Element before I watched Die Hard, guys,
Same.
all the way through.
Yeah.
And it had, like, a lot of just cool, fun elements that literally seemed like something a kid would dream up. Oh, this is what the future's like.
Cool.
And then I love all the little nuances, like the way the cigarettes are basically like reversed. You know, the filters are,
You got to filter
massive.
out a lot more.
Yeah. I don't know. There was just something I loved about it, and something that seemed scary, but also very like adventurous. And I just loved the movie so much. It's kind of wild. I'm going to give this a 9.6.
Nice.
I'm serious. Huge.
Sean, what about you, man?
I remember watching this for the first time. My dad was staying at our uncles and aunts, and my brother and I would go visit, and they had like a plot of land, and when we played, did you guys ever play Ghost in the Graveyard as a kid?
Great game.
We used to play that all the time, and then we'd come in and watch. It scared me.
Too spooky, okay?
We'd come inside and watch some movies, and I remember we watched Creep Show first, and that like formed my taste. Along with scaring the shit out of me. But then we watched this as kind of a chaser. But this was like also kind of weird and dark, but also very entertaining. And after we watched that, I remember we watched it several more times, and I loved it. I thought it was just so weird and different. I'm going to go along with AJ. I'm a 9 on this, nostalgically.
Damn. So about me, I've actually never seen this movie.
Whoa.
Wow.
Is that the most surprising not scene that I've had?
This one I think this is for me. For you, yeah, that's crazy.
I was trying to think back of why, and I think I figured out why. I thought this movie was Event Horizon.
Yeah.
And I also thought it was 12 Monkeys. and I couldn't figure out like what movie it was. And Event Horizon was the most frightening thing I think I'd ever seen as a child. And so why would I ever want to watch that again?
Because you probably watched Jurassic Park first, right?
Probably,
and then watch Event Horizon. You're like, Sam Neill is a demon? What?
And so I think I just was confused, and I have seen 12 Monkeys, so I thought for some reason that this movie I've either already seen it or I didn't want to see it. So for some reason I just never got into it.
Interesting.
So this was my first watch. I'm excited to tell you what I thought about it. Starling, our executive producer, he chose this movie with his powers.
Nice.
Starling, we're happy to have you. Here's what he said. First time I saw this was at my college campus movie theater where I had seen Bruce Willis in 12 Monkeys the year before. That was a crazy movie following Pulp Fiction, and I couldn't wait to see it. Apparently, my college years overlapped the peak Bruce Willis era as we still had The Jackal, boring, and Armageddon, yeehaw, on the horizon. While the draw may have been Bruce, what I remembered most about this movie was Mila Jovovich, specifically her ass kicking. I hadn't seen anyone kick dudes' asses like that since Keenang in Golden Child with a combat floor routine.
Well done.
Yes.
Well called out.
Lilu upped the ante and single-handedly beat the shit out of a group of shape-shifting Klingons in tandem with a catchy alien opera playing in the background. Side note, that song was so good, I put it on the very first CD I ever burned a year later. What didn't the movie have? Don't say comedy, because somebody had the brilliant idea to cast Chris Tucker, the funniest guy from one of the funniest movies of all time, Friday, as a more hyper, taller, and flamboyant version of Prince.
I thought he was going to say Rush Hour, but that's fine. Sorry.
Yeah, that's fine.
Well, we're talking about the time.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Who was a Lothario stealing every scene. I was a 9 and made everyone watch this movie. Guys, our nostalgic rating of this movie combined together is a 9.2. That is number 4 on our list of any any movie. It's Ace Ventura, Goonies, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Fifth Element.
Ace Ventura is number 1.
Ace Ventura is the number 1 nostalgic movie. Nostalgic rating.
Yeah.
Remember, this doesn't mean anything. This is how we felt as kids.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is we're going to strip.
I just love it. It's like, remember how you were a kid and your feelings as a kid doesn't mean anything.
No.
So.
if you could do me a favor and just quit living in the past.
You got it.
A nostalgic podcast.
Well, we have
just
here's
stop
what
doing
we
that.
do. Here's why we do it is because we have to bring it up to prove how stupid you were as a kid.
That's fair.
Three Ninjas is number 7 on our list.
Oh.
I love this movie.
Yeah.
Oh, heck yeah, dude.
If we were all 10 years old right now, we'd be like, let's watch it right now. Why are we working?
We need to have we need to have a 10-year-old, like a 12-year-old, and then like a 16-year-old or whatever, and then that would be like we'll redo like a short form podcast of this.
We should try to cast ourselves as younger versions.
Oh my God, if we did a live script reading of Three Ninjas, I would love that.
Well, the reason we do the nostalgia rating is so we can strip it away. We're going to start stripping that away one thing at a time. We're going to talk to Shaun about the pertinent, important details of this movie. What do you got, bro?
Produced by Patrice Ledoux and Ian Smith. There's a lot of French names.
Oh,
here.
cool.
So, written by Luc Besson and Robert Kamen. Cinematography by Thierry Arbogast. Love that. Music by Eric Serra. Edited by Sylvia Landry. Directed by Luc Besson. Cast: Bruce Willis, Gary Oldman, Mila Jovovich, Ian Holm, Chris Tucker, Luke Perry, Brian James, Tom Lister Jr., Lee Evans, Al Matthews, and Mai Wen. Writer-director Luc Besson came up with the idea for The Fifth Element when he was 16 years old. Throughout his career before making the movie, Besson would always go back to the script and refine it. In 1991, Besson met comic book artists Jean Giraud and Jean-Claude Mézarez, who designed the comic, The Circles of Power, which Besson drew much inspiration from and recruited them for the design of this film. Besson then met Patrice Ledoux, a producer for Gaumont pictures, and Besson had a base for his team. Besson had either Mel Gibson or Bruce Willis in mind for the lead role. Gibson passed on the project, and Willis was expensive. The production originally had a $100 million budget for a 400-page script. The film then fell in limbo after not getting a proper financer. So Besson made Leon the Professional, which was a great success. After seeing the success of that, and after Besson shortened the script, Columbia Pictures came on board, and so did Bruce Willis. So originally he wanted this. This movie was like 3 parts. He's gonna have like a trilogy of this.
Jesus.
It was that extensive and long, but he over the years combined it.
Nice.
And whittled it down for just a single motion picture. Besson recruited Gary Oldman after working with him on Leon the Professional and cited him as one of the best 5 actors in the world at the time. And I think you could still say that.
Yeah.
Besson casted Mila Jovovich after meeting with 300 actors for the part of Lilu. Besson was married to Mai Wen, the diva in the movie, but left her for Jovovich while in production. Prince was cast for the role of Ruby Rhod, but couldn't make it happen around his tour dates. Chris Tucker and Jamie Foxx were both in line for the role of Besson, but Besson thought Tucker's skinnier frame was more suitable. While watching this movie and taking down notes, I'm like, there's Prince all over this.
It 100%.
Like, I thought I heard 1991 as they go into like the airport, what it seems to be, and then I read up and was like, yes,
definitely
it was supposed to be Prince. Everything, he loves Prince.
Definitely some Batman soundtrack vibes in there, you know.
Production began in August of 1995 in London at Pinewood Studios, having over 7 sound stages. All of the special effects were a combination of practical miniature models and CGI. The Fifth Element premiered at Cannes Film Festival on May 7th, 1997, and on a budget of $90 million, the film would take $263.9 million at the box office.
Decent.
Pretty good.
One casting choice that I saw in my research was that Elizabeth Berkley was supposed to be Lilu.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then they saw Showgirls, and they're like, no, never mind.
No.
No thanks.
Probably a really good choice.
Well, Bruce Willis was also coming off of Hudson Hawk and another movie I forget, but
Billy Bathgate, something like that.
Something like that. And it was like they were both like flops, and they were hesitant to cast him, but he eventually, I think he read, Besson brought the script to him and read it, and then 2 hours later he's like, I'm in. I'm doing it.
Not even Bruce Willis was confident he was gonna. He was like, I don't know about that. It seems pretty cool.
I've had some clunkers.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, this podcast needs your help. We're just 3 dudes trying to put out weekly content for you to listen to, but it's a crazy world out there. There are millions and millions of podcasts for you to choose from. So in order to keep this podcast free and growing, and for us to continue on our mission, we have a mission for you. What we want you to do is we want you to share this episode with some friends.
Oh, yeah.
All you have to do is get on your little podcast form. There's a little share button. Hit it. You got a sibling who loved this movie. You got a parent who loved this movie. You got a friend who used to watch this. Say, dude, they're talking about The Fifth Element. Remember how cool that movie was? Share it to them. Just getting people to listen is one of the most important ways you can support us. And, of course, the biggest way is to join us on Patreon. We have a space where you can vote on upcoming movies. You can join our private Discord server, which is about to have some live video action.
Yeah, boy.
We boosted. And we have weekly audio bonus content for you. If you sign up today, you'll have like 70 hours just waiting for you. You can listen to it all and then delete your subscription if you want.
Yeah.
We just want you to check it out, see if you like it. Yeah. So go check that out, patreon.com/confusedbreakfast. We love you all. Up next, we have AJ. He did the research for us. He's got ratings and reviews from critics and fans alike. What do you got, man?
Dude, it's about to go down on the tomato meter. Gross. 71% coming in at the tomato meter.
Okay.
Of all the movies we've done, that is tied with the Santa Claus. Perfect. So critical review of this, they think it's the same movie as the Santa Claus.
It basically is. And they're basically Encino Man. So 86% from audience scores in that Rotten Tomatoes world. And then this is a 7.6 on IMDb.
Listen to the company of the movies we've done. This movie is tied with Dazed and Confused, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, Lethal Weapon, Christmas Vacation, American Psycho.
Jeez.
That is what the fans believe the company this movie holds.
Okay, stacked.
Yeah.
How about some critical reviews? Critic reviews. Los Angeles Times, Kevin Thomas gave this an 80 out of 100. The cast is a delight, but it's Willis who is the film's true fifth element, giving it life, depth, and humanity. I love this one from the Chicago Tribune. Michael Wilmington said, it's ludicrous, but it's fun. Besson is a filmmaker so in love with his own daffy excesses that he's able to pull us laughing right into his world of loony pop.
We need to say Daffy more.
I think we should say daffy more.
You guys can do that.
Okay. Thanks, man.
Yeah.
I wanted to give you guys a bad one. This is from Salon.
Hey.
10 out of 100, 1 out of 10. Scott Rosenberg said, as you sit through the interminable 2 hours plus that constitute the fifth element, a colossally stupid, overbearing, pompous new movie by Luc Besson, you can expect to become acquainted with boredom on the most elemental level.
All right.
I like how he worked in the elements there. I thought that was clever.
That's Michael Rosenberg?
that's
Scott Rosenberg.
Scott Rosenberg. Okay. Yeah.
Dr. Rosen?
Pretty daffy, if you ask me.
Yeah, right? Right. Yeah. Nice. Good one.
Thanks,
I like how you did that one.
Also, he's like, yeah, I got a film review. I got a film critic job. He's like, oh, yeah, where at? Salon. Oh.
Wait a second.
There has to be at least 2 paragraphs where you talk about the hairdos.
Yeah. Well, I think he had plenty to talk about in this movie then.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be real.
Absolutely.
That's where he's coming from.
Yep.
So actually, that's perfect. Spot on. This is, let's do a 10 out of 10. This is the best movie ever made.
Oh,
Said Freak 2.
10 out of 10.
In 1998. This is, in fact, a 10 out of 10. Or if you want to get real critical, a 1 out of 1.
I don't like that. It's either 0 or 1, man.
Hey, I just want to be honest with you.
Digital here.
We're talking digital. This is the best movie I have ever seen in my life. The first time I saw it was kind of weird, but it had a sort of charm that no other movie has come close to. After I watched it a couple of times, it turned out to have a good plot, good actors and actresses, except for the president, and great special effects. I'm giving it a 10 all the way.
Nice.
Look at that. You see? Someone else gave it a 10. They said that this is one of Willis's best films, that he shows that he can do action and humor at the same time.
Cool.
Wow. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'd give it a 10 plus. 10 plus what? So you didn't do it. Left us hanging there. That's good writing. But yeah, so let's do some 1 out of 10s, guys, and then we'll jump in.
0.1 out of 1.
This is, yes, exactly. See?
Cool.
You get it.
I don't.
We'll catch you up.
All right.
We'll see. They're called decimal systems. And go ahead.
Yep.
That sounds daffy to me.
Silly, mildly eccentric.
Okay. How about 1 out of 10? Please do not waste your money, said Woojin. 1999. This movie is very boring and childish. You will hate yourself about your choice when you finish watching this movie. There's no action, no philosophy, only ugly special effects. Chris Tucker's comedy is never funny. Bruce sometimes chose a good movie. Hang on. Bruce sometimes chose good movie, but shouldn't have filmed this movie.
Because he filmed it, yes.
Gotcha.
Sometime he do movie good. This one, no.
Okay, I just want to do this last one. 1 out of 10. I can't believe this movie averages a high score, said Jerry73.
I just love it.
Jerry.
He's got New Balances on.
Jerry was either born in 73 or he graduated.
Well, Jerry was a race car driver.
Boo.
I know. This is one of the worst movies I have ever seen. I felt bad giving it a 1. 0 should have been an option. The story was boring. The acting was horrible. And talk about a waste of special effects. Also, Chris Tucker is lucky he didn't kill his entire career. Dude, we'll get to Chris Tucker. Although I can't remember his name, the critic who called this film Star Wars for the 90s should be demoted to writing reviews for high school newsletters. So you're talking about a guy who should be reviewing newsletters. That is a job I want.
Yeah. That sounds like the job that this guy has, and he's bitter about it. Jerry.
But he likes to break on out over to IMDb every now and again. to be more. I have a guideline for giving a movie the worst rating possible. I have to want to leave the theater. I've seen technically weaker films, but at least I didn't feel tortured by staying. Yuck.
I could leave,
but I'm choosing not to.
It's on my morals.
It's not necessarily torturous, so I'm gonna stay. I do have a review to write. I better watch the whole movie.
Well, I better finish my popcorn. Said no one ever in a movie theater.
You finish it before the movie starts.
That's right.
That's always what happens.
Duh. Okay. That's all I got, guys.
Well, before we dissect this scene by scene, we got to talk about our amazing sponsor, Cedar Ridge Whiskey. We've been talking about them for so long that we finally got them to do something cool with us.
Finally.
They're finally like, why are you guys talking about us in every episode?
Yeah.
If you've seen our Instagram lately, we are going to have a hand-selected single barrel confused breakfast whiskey from Cedar Ridge. We were out there a couple weeks ago. We picked our barrel. It is unbelievable. We're not going to divulge any information yet.
No.
But what we want from you is that there's only going to be about 200 bottles. It's going to go real fast, and it's going to get shipped directly to your door if you're in about one of the 40 states that they can ship to. So go to the link real quick in the notes of this episode. Click on our mailing list, because if you want your hands on this, you have to go sign up, or else there's no chance you're going to get one of these bottles. We promise it's amazing because it comes from the best whiskey company in the entire world, Cedar Ridge Whiskey. You have to check them out. Wait for our barrel. Go online right now, cedarridgewhiskey.com. Buy one of their barrels. Get the American bourbon. Get the American quintessential single malt. Get the collaboration with Slipknot.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Check it out. You go to your local distributor, talk to them about some whiskey, or order it straight to your door. You have to do it.
And that comes from the crew you can trust. Obviously, we drink maybe too much of this, and so we know what it tastes like. We know we like it. And when we picked our barrel, it's the best we've ever had.
Yes.
So
The best I ever had.
cedarridgewhiskey.com.
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 Well, boys, the world is tough out there. We're just trying to get by, mind our own businesses, and while trying to avoid losing our license. So that's how we make our living. One of these days, the right woman is just going to fall into our lives.
Yeah.
I know it.
Yeah.
And when she does, everything will be perfect, and we won't have to worry about a thing, right? Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
Well, saving the world?
No, everything's going to be fine.
Oh, okay.
Here we go.
That worked.
So scene one. A group of aliens called the Mondoshawan arrive on Earth in 1914 to extract the only weapon capable of defeating a great evil from an archaeologist and a priest. 300 years later, the great evil appears and prepares to end life on Earth despite the president's efforts. When the Mondoshawans attempt to deliver the elements back to Earth, they are ambushed.
Mondoshan. Yeah, I like the space shots a lot. They remind me very much of the Kubrick 2001 Space Odyssey,
yeah.
Especially with it's just like the stars, and then it kind of slowly pans up and then reveals a planet. It's
but then it flips around.
Yeah,
too.
yeah. Then it's like, oh, but I'm a Bassan movie. Yeah, and then the titles are very The Thing reminiscent, like the production and edited by all those. They look exactly like The Thing.
Yeah,
and I really appreciated that.
Yeah, I really like the. I like the opening of this, like set like what was it, 1914?
1914. Yep, that's when they're at the archaeologist.
Yeah, and I like that they take it back that far, but then it just is. I don't know how many thousands of years into the future. Like what? I don't know.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like to me. But I love that they're like doing the archaeology thing, and because that's always one of my favorite things to research is like those old
ancient aliens and stuff.
Yeah. Like what the pyramids, how the pyramids got built, all that good stuff, right? Yeah, I love that.
I found it super interesting that, remember, I haven't seen this movie, and so I do no research, and I turn it on and I watch it. Oh, Luke Perry's in this.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh, Luke Perry's not in this anymore.
No.
Oh, Luke Perry's gone.
I even thought maybe he was Korg because they kept showing the back of Korg. I thought there was some weird that he's like here to exact revenge. It's like, no, Luke Perry was credited 6th in this movie, and he says less than 100 words, and he is on screen for 96 total seconds. There had to be some very, very upset teenage girls.
Oh yeah.
Because he's height of 90210.
Oh yeah, but imagine this: like you put him in the beginning of your movie, and you're like, "Yay, Luke Perry!"
I can't wait for him to show up again.
Yeah.
It was like, yeah, I loved it. There's a lot of movies that did that though in like the 90s.
Yeah.
Like I think of Arachnophobia. John Goodman was like John Goodman in Arachnophobia, barely in the movie.
Yeah, he's on the poster.
Barely in the movie, but they're
It's
like
Jeff Daniels' movie.
these fucking idiots. The internet's not invented yet. They're not going to know. They're just going to have to show up.
Exactly. I'm completely. I'm fine with that. I don't know. These aliens though, when they come down and around, I'm like, I don't know what good functionality. I don't know how they survive. Like, are these just big space suits?
Yeah.
Is that what we're thinking?
I don't know.
But they're not in space.
Well, they don't.
Well, no, they're in. I guess technically they're in outer space because they're on Earth.
Exactly.
And that's not their home
To
planet.
them, I don't know. They Buzz Lightyear this. It's like, there is toxic. Oh, thank goodness. It's like
For a superior race, they do not walk very fast.
exactly. Hey, turtle in the hair. I guess that tortoise in the hair. That's just the way the world works, and the galaxy works apparently.
A peaceful being doesn't need to be fast and strong. Peaceful being just needs to be very strong in the mind.
That's right.
But they all look like they either like power lift or they just drink gallons and gallons of Busch Light.
A bush.
Yeah, just
So they're Iowans.
yes.
Okay.
They're from Iowa.
From the
space-
planet of
Iowa.
Iowa.
Yeah.
It is interesting because you're kind of just like this whole intro. You're just kind of going, okay, so we've got these aliens, but we've got these priests, but we've got this archaeologist, and you're a little confused at what's going on because a priest is trying to kill an archaeologist, but also like they're parched. They've been in the desert for a long time and they're ready for water. You don't have to pretend like it's alcohol. Just be like, here's water.
Yeah.
Drink this so you can die.
Yeah.
But he's like, no, it's a toast.
Ah.
Oh, you can't. It's water. You can't toast with water. It's like,
Yeah.
These priests aren't very smart.
No.
Throughout this whole movie,
I throughout this whole movie,
the priests are like the dumbest character, like knowledge-wise.
Yeah, they don't. Hey, they don't know a lot about a lot, but they know a lot about this one particular thing. Unfortunately, they're just not great with social cues or gatherings of any kind.
And they say the title of the movie a lot. In this.
How many times?
Well, they said it the one time, and I'm like, oh, they said it, and I'm like, that might be the only time. No, I think they say it like 25 more times.
I counted
You did
6. That's a lot.
25.
Wow.
It's 6, but
Basically
that's
25.
a lot of times to say. Usually, it's like snatch. They're like, don't snatch. You're like, snatch. They said
did it.
and then that's it. Never say it again. They're like, the fifth element.
It's time to die hard. He said it.
Oh, let's see. But there seems to be a fifth element.
Every time they do it, all 6 times. Well, no, we got to go get her because she's the 5th element.
Man, this is like the 5th element. I was gonna go somewhere else with that. Sorry. Good thing the camera wasn't on me.
Oh, that's a sweet skateboard, dude. It looks like a element of the 5th kind.
It's got 4 wheels. I wonder where the 5th element. Never mind. We got to stop this.
All right, let me take you on. So how do you feel about Debo being the president of the world?
Dude's coming up.
I didn't
was
put
a
it
long
together until
road.
now. It's Chris Tucker and Debo.
Yeah.
Dude,
That's awesome.
Because this is 97. Isn't that what this came out in 97?
Yes.
Friday was 94, 95, 96, something like that. So
Well, yeah, I mean, a lot of people don't realize Luc Besson is just a huge Friday fan.
That's awesome.
why
That's
else?
what it
But
is.
why else do you cast him? What's his Leicester Jr.?
Yeah.
Why? I mean, like I actually really like him.
I did too.
Hey.
But
great.
that's not a choice. You just go. I had 100 actors come in and audition, and you were the one that I want to. This role is for him.
Right.
Right.
You don't. He didn't win that audition.
No. I think it was a conscious choice, not like you say. Like
Chris Tucker said, "I'll sign on only if Debo's the president."
Yeah, like I love that. I really do. I think I enjoy the casting. I enjoy like honestly most of the casting because a lot of it seems kind of weird, kind of quirky at places, and yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Mike's Fan Theories.
Don't you worry about a thing.
I'm Shaun.
Okay, so we're hanging out in Compton. We're in the 90s.
Type.
And Debo gets what's coming to him.
Yeah.
And he wakes up the next morning and he realizes, I got to change my ways.
Yeah.
I got to change my ways. I got to do better for myself, for my future family, for my future kids, their kids. Mm-hmm. Debo cleans his life up, goes to school, moves out of Compton, gets a great job, builds a successful life for himself, which then his kids get to establish on that. And they get to... This President Lindbergh is the great-great-great-great-grandson of Debo.
Of Debo Lindbergh.
Yes.
They just become lobbyists.
Yeah.
Throughout the years.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. They just slowly get involved into politics.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think it's great. You know, Debo helped clean up that community.
Yep, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
He's like, I started down there and I was a ruffian, but I knew I had. Yeah, you're
and
right.
that's what gets him voted.
He's the one who got on to like into their local chamber of commerce there in Compton, and then that set the path.
President Lindbergh tells the story of his great-great-great-great-great-grandson who built his family from nothing. Grandson.
Grandfather, you mean?
No, because President Lindbergh's talking about his. Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
No.
I do like the wackiness of this movie, but when they're looking at the void death thing, the darkness, the evil orb, it like when they start like throwing nukes at it and shit, it gets bigger, and then the flame skull, which is fucking metal as shit,
like that.
comes out at him. I'm like, do we need that?
Yeah, we do.
Do we need that?
We have to know that it's the great evil.
Okay.
And that it's not just a planet, because they don't really tell you that planet's the evil.
It's basically Shao Kahn.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Shao Kahn's the great evil, and we just basically get the dragon skull snake, thing. The skull with the snake body.
I do enjoy that, and I enjoy like or Tornado and Twister sounding like a monster, like growling.
Yes. Or
like in Hurricane Heist when I think it's actually another skull when the hurricane like takes over something and like a skull kind of pops out. And I'm like, oh fuck. To be high watching these movies is the best option.
I do like it. I do like it when there are points in movies where these natural disasters, they're like a monster. It's like
evil.
It's basically just a big monster, a great evil, yeah. Like, and they just decide to put it right on the nose in this movie. But it feels like a monster that's going to destroy things. Like it's like a Godzilla, but it doesn't have a persona of a Godzilla, right? And I love that. The movies that do that, I've found that are some of my favorites. And did we need the skull? No, I did think upon this rewatch, I was like, no. But then at the same time, like watching that guy just be like taken over by the blood
freaky.
From the head, like that adds to that like mystery factor of like, is his brain just popping? Like, dude,
we don't know.
Rough. Yeah, it's really weird.
Hit it! If we were on a train to go punch a face, I'm on board.
That's what I'm talking about.
I thought it was going to be the tweaker dude. That's got like the really nice
smoke you. No, that's the other guy.
Yeah, no, he says that right?
Yeah, he
or
does.
no, I don't know. I thought it was gonna be him, but then I actually really ended up enjoying the tweaker guy. Like when he's and I thought it was pretty ingenious to have it on your head. So I'm not
Keeps
gonna
your
go
hands
him.
free.
I gotta go the general of this that the skull comes at, because it's such a trope of the old military general who's like, yeah, whatever. We're just gonna nuke it.
Yeah.
And you know what? I have doubts. I don't hit the button.
Yeah.
I love when the shitty military old general gets killed.
Yeah.
Because of his mistake.
Because of his mistake.
So I'm punching him in the face while the blood's coming down, while the skull's coming at him.
Yes.
Because I don't think he'll see it coming. I think he'll be focused on the great evil and the weird blood coming out of his head, and I can just jack him in the jaw.
Punch right to the face.
It's the last thing I do because the great evil's coming at me.
I like that.
I'm into that. I was gonna say one of the other crew guys. He looks like he's got like very narrow eyes and like dark hair. Yeah. He's like I just don't like him. I just don't like his look. You know?
Yeah.
But then there's the doctor when Lilu gets Like when he's like all obsessed with rebuilding, and he's like, and then you see this and see that, and like, look in there.
You just want to be like, shut up, nerd.
Yeah, yeah. But I like his performance. I don't know.
Perfect.
I'll go with
you don't have to punch anyone.
No, I mean I want to. Violence. It's fun.
Violence. Okay.
What do you got, AJ? Do you got anybody?
So it's not about anything other than sometimes I think I just want to line up all of the security for the ship or like the cruise and just kind of slap them all because of their outfits, because they wear these like Donald Duck looking outfits, like, but they have pants.
Yeah,
and there's something very funny like sailor. It's like they're all too small. They ran them through. They sent them to the dry cleaners. Like, hey, we need these as soon as possible.
Got a new crew coming in.
We got a new crew coming in. But then they came out, and it was the classic trope of, oh no, it shrank. And that's what all their crew looks like. So I kind of want to just do a collective slap
like
of just
like one of those.
Exactly. Yep, that's what I want to do.
I think Bruce Willis might be one of the top 5 smokers in movies of all time.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of that, and I don't know who's better.
Yeah.
Yeah, have a few laughs.
Save a few worlds.
Come on down the way. Save a few worlds.
Save a few worlds. The Fifth Element.
Man, fall in love.
Why is Bruce Willis so cool though? Like, because
he is so cool.
He's the quintessential like cool dude. Just the way he presents himself on screen. He's just standing. He just woke up from his little nap and he's just like, I'm smoking and whatever.
He definitely always seems like he just woke up. Like he just hasn't seen a good night's sleep in a long time. Like his characters, and I think it's like. He just hasn't gotten over something, you know what I mean? It's like, well, sorry, sweetheart. Yeah, you're gonna have to go with the cops. And then it's just like, I'm just too tired for this. I'm just too tired. I can't.
It's the end of the road.
It's the end of the road.
Shaun, so we got Father Vito Cornelius talking, you've got 20 seconds, and he proceeds to waste about 7 seconds of just pausing before he takes his 20 seconds. But that speech that he gives, he's like, there's nothing to it. It's just pure black evil. It's nothing but evil.
Boom.
That is Loomis from Halloween.
Oh, yeah.
It's literally, you could insert his speech about Michael Myers into this, and it is the same thing. In fact, I feel like Ian Holm could have played Loomis.
He'd be a great Loomis.
Don't you think?
Yeah.
Just the way he delivers the nothing but the blackest eyes, pure evil.
Like a shark's eyes.
Yeah,
dog's eyes.
Yeah. I love the way he delivers that because I'm
Yeah.
like, that's fucking Loomis from Halloween.
That's cool. Yeah, and that speech is, he says, you have 20 seconds, and it's actually 20 seconds long in the movie.
Yeah, it is.
While wasting 6 seconds to start talking.
I love that. Yeah, that's a great casting.
I love Ian Holm.
Same.
Like, there's something about him, and it's not like he's somebody that I seek out, but he's just one of those guys that I'm just like, oh, I love that guy.
When he shows up, it's like, oh, this is pretty good.
It's always great, and I love his performance in this. Like he's timid about like you said, Mike. He's timid about everything else except he is so sure about what he knows.
But also, like once Chris Tucker gets on screen, like I feel like his energy kind of comes off on other people, and so like it does on Ian Holm too. He's like, it's no.
Yeah.
If it was a bomb, like he kind of takes some traits from Chris Tucker a little bit.
Yeah.
I do want to break down if you're talking about ideal jobs. Like you want the best career in the world.
Mm-hmm.
The best job in the world would be to be a priest in between 1914 and the 300 years later of the modern day. Because all you're doing is just prolonging the knowledge so you can pass it on to your apprentice.
Yeah.
So you're a young kid, you're chosen, you learn from your priest, you learn all the details of the pure evil and how to defeat it. Then your priest dies, you're the priest now. Now you have an apprentice, you teach that priest, then you die. Because someone's funding this.
Yeah.
You're not just like living. We have to make sure that you live
tax
on.
dollars.
Our tax dollars are funding it.
Yeah.
And then I was also thinking like there's got to be some protocol here. Because what if 2 priests ago, the priest and the apprentice got on a space shuttle and they're like, we're going on vacation. And then that space shuttle blows up and dies.
Yeah.
We're done. We're done. There has to be protocol.
You have to live a life of celibacy. You can't drink alcohol. No smoking for you. You have to eat very well. You know, like stay away from starches your whole life. You need to have this message in your brain to carry on to the next, or else you're fucked.
Yes.
Like what if you maybe you have like journals and shit, but like you're not gonna be able to explain that in a journal.
But what if your apprentice dies with you? Like you get it's free car accident, you're together. Then who's gonna look at these journals and be like, what the fuck?
It's the whole thing. Like when the president has like a meeting with all of his people, they garner that one person to stay behind in case they all get blown up.
Yeah. Three helicopters take off and leave. 3 cars leave, and you don't know which one people are in.
The contingency plans.
We need that.
Yeah.
This is important.
It is. And so I also gathered from this that now the priests who are part of this thing, they have to remain celibate. They shouldn't drink and do all that stuff because those are paths to like giving information out. Right? It's like, I got drunk and I kind of told him about the saviors.
I wanted to impress this hot blonde.
It's like, yeah, we were just, pillow talk, she was asking about, tell me something that you never told anybody, and I wanted to impress her, and I felt like I wanted to divulge a little bit. And it's like, oh God, now we got to kill this guy. How many of these priests are out there actually?
And how many people have? How many people?
Just the one?
How many people have they hushed in their life?
That's
with
right.
that pillow talk.
Are these the greatest assassins of all time?
Yeah.
I mean, come on,
dude. I couldn't help it. She's pretty kinky, and I showed her that little key, and she's like, "What can we do with that key?
What can we do with that key? What other holes does that key fit into?" And
what am I going to say? No.
And sure, we had some fun and everything, but I had to kill her.
Yeah,
because she saw the key. Oh man, and then you get this Colin Hanks. Wish Colin Hanks looked like whatever he is. Just timid Ted is what I'm going to call him. And I don't think he's got the chops to continue this lineage, guys.
He's a terrible choice.
I think he was a poor choice. Maybe the ranks are just getting thinned out. It's like they're having trouble keeping getting people into the priesthood and stuff. They're just having trouble, and it's like, well, we got to take what we got. He applied. Is that how he got it? He just applied for it?
Yeah,
okay.
I think so.
Okay, cool.
There's some elements in my life, darling, that I'm missing.
And
I feel like I have a home. That's one element. I feel like I have my dog. That's 2 elements. And then I have I have my record
podcast.
player. My record player is my 3rd element. My podcast. I love my podcast. And there's only one element missing in my life, and that's you. The 5th element. You want to come back to my place?
Is this
no? Take the camera off him.
Take the camera off of him.
No, he just licked the microphone.
No, I just mimicked it.
Guys, scene 2.
Yes.
Scientists are able to recover a hand from the crash and use a reconstitution device to recreate it, whereupon it takes the form of a human woman named Lilu. She escapes the scientists and crashes the roof of a cab belonging to taxi driver Corbin Dallas. Dallas then delivers her to priest Vito Cornelius, where they help Lilu recover. Is this a prediction of 3D modeling?
I think so. Yeah.
There's a lot of things that kind of predicted the future in this movie.
It's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
That was like... back then when you saw it, you're like, that, oh my God, that could never happen. Now it's like, it's kind of happening.
Yeah.
Sort of. I don't know if we can make it human.
We got our Thunder Road. Came from that machine itself.
Exactly.
Look at
that. My question to you guys is, because maybe it's just a memory lapse. For some reason, I cannot think about how they got this hand. Like did somebody just walk in with it, or like... I'm just having this like serious memory lapse of how they showed up to these scientists.
They recovered it from when those
crash.
The shaved mastiffs shot down that that ship full of the Bush Light gallon drinkers. They recovered it from that.
Those
that was
walking kegs.
Yes.
They recovered 2 things. Basically with lights on.
And their heads are
They only recovered 2 things from this crash. It's a giant ship crash. Nobody in the world talks about it. It's not on the news. You think it'd be a big deal, this huge ship crash. Only 2 things survived: a random hand, holding onto a lever, and a briefcase. Those are the only 2 things that survived. The briefcase was stolen because they thought it had the stones in it. The hand. So does that mean that Lilu was like inside of one of those suits?
See, that's what I'm trying to figure out.
Because it sure looked like a hand of one of the Bush Light guys.
Yeah. They're like, oh, we're gonna recreate this. This is a part that I was trying to pay attention to like really closely, but I was having serious trouble because it's like
it doesn't explain it.
It doesn't really explain a lot. It's just like, hey, we have this, and we're going to do a recreation of what the perfect being is. And is this a perfect being according to what their recreation is?
Was she actually that?
Like the scientist just had like a lot of Playboys or something, or was it like, oh, this is what they are inside that
This
machine?
is
Those
exactly
machines.
what this was.
Yeah.
I don't know. It does not explain it. It feels like we have this cool CGI technology. We're gonna just do this.
I wish it would have also just like, it's like they recreate her, but it comes out of that hand, right? And then like she's like the perfect being, except for like she has a hand, like
huge,
like Hellboy.
She does. The hand is still in the thing when they start.
Yeah, it's like one of those hands that's a fist and you put a beer in it.
Exactly. It's a Hulk hand.
Yeah.
It's a Hulk hand. She just has a Hulk
There
hand.
she is. She's perfect.
She's perfect.
Except for that hand.
What-
Just don't look at
What the hell happened to the hand?
It's how you look at it. It's pretty cool if you think about it.
Oh, trust me. That thing's got perfect grip.
We went there.
Well, and so
Sorry.
like if they can do this with like a found alien thing from a different planet, so like if your loved one dies, can you just take a
I
piece
think
of
so.
them and recreate them?
I
So,
feel like it.
This is like this doesn't matter anymore. Like death is nothing anymore.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, they don't touch on that.
we're just perpetuating like human race at this point, and it's like, hey, will you just kill me and then recreate me at my perfect self? That'd be great. before I discovered beer,
Vanilla
Yeah.
Sky.
can you do that for me?
Before I ate that entire Jack's pizza by myself.
Can you take me
Yeah,
back?
we can, but we cannot erase your memory of eating that pizza.
No,
say
that's
shit?
fine. Yeah, I can.
That's
I can
fine.
bury that.
I enjoy the memory, but not the feeling it left behind. So if you could take me back 37 minutes ago,
I can get through the act of doing that through therapy. So
yeah.
There's some other things that don't make sense too, like the driver's license point system. So he gets in an accident that's not his fault because someone falls through the air and he like kind of gets off the road and he gets out. They deduct 4 points from his license.
it's crazy.
That's rough.
Then running away from an active police situation where they're stopping you, 1 point.
It's kind of like Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, you get
know?
stars.
Like if it involves, it's like just running away. You're actually reducing your point count, right? It's like, oh well, if you lose them,
If you get out of the vicinity of their
you reduce
reach,
it. Yeah, see?
They got other things going on.
yeah.
they can't chase you after so
We got
far.
a 187 on South Zunabashi. We got to
Yeah.
go over there.
But also,
That's for you,
like
Chris.
when she falls into his cab and busts the roof and everything, she falls pretty far, you know. And all he can do is flirt with her. He's like, oh, hey, you know. He's flirting with her, but he's like asking her if she's like. He's not asking her, "Are you all right?" He's asking her, "You all right?" Like it should be, "Are you all right? We are going to the hospital. You fell into a flying car."
I don't know how far you just fell from, but it was far.
Yeah.
What does this say about, of all the technology of this new world, what does this say about comfort and cushions and like bedding and stuff?
My God.
That saved her ass.
Yeah.
Quite
That's like
literally.
my pillow technology. In there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like this is like Tempur-Pedic. Like no shock. You're not going to spill a glass of wine if you jump on those seats. That's pretty great stuff right there, guys.
Let's talk about Mila Jovovich though as her role in this. Like I can only imagine what it was like seeing this movie as a kid
Yeah.
and seeing this beautiful woman
Boobies.
with boobies multiple times. And I mean, like, what was it like? What was it like? I mean, it seems like I love Mila Jovovich. I love everything she's done. I mean, she was in Dazed and Confused, for God's sake. She was in Pussifer. Like, she's got a great voice. I just love her in this movie, and I think she almost carries a lot of this movie.
I think this is her movie, and it kind of sucks. Well, we'll get to it towards the end where she's like, kind of like Patricia Arquette in True Romance.
Yes.
She's kind of not in it anymore.
Yes.
She's kind of like, oh, we need to save her because she
Yeah.
can't handle it herself.
She's a perfect being, but we need to save her.
Yeah, the guy's got to do it. It's just kind of hack, you know, because she does carry this movie. I agree with you. And yeah, I mean, when I first saw it, it just affirmed my love of redheads and orange heads.
I was going to say,
I've never seen an orange head before. It was,
Yeah, I
it's
know.
awesome.
It's great.
the perfect being has orange hair.
Yeah.
So there we go. I think that says it all. Go ahead.
Oh no! Even her delivery of this divine language, I know that they actually wrote it.
They made it up.
Like they made it up and had conversations in it.
Didn't she? She had a part in writing it, right?
Yeah.
That language.
Her and Luc Besson would like have conversations with each other and like send letters to each other in this language.
She was already fluent in 4 languages, so learning this was fairly easy. The language had 400 words. Luc Besson and Milla had conversations, wrote letters to each other. By the end of filming, they were able to have full conversations in the language.
That's amazing.
And I 100% believe it.
Yeah.
The way she's talking, I'm like, oh God, what language is this? You know, like it's kind of like in Lord of the Rings and stuff, the way they speak in the Elvish language. Like, Jesus.
Big boom, bada boom, big boom.
Bada big boom.
And we've talked about it before, but you talk about somebody who's carrying a film or carrying like it through, and she is, and I think she's doing that because of how much she's not talking. She's just simply her range of emotion.
Yes, her facial emotions
that she has to rely on.
Dude, you're right.
I think that's
she doesn't say that much in
really
English.
Say that much.
It's a fish out of water kind of thing too, where it adds some comedy as well. It makes you kind of love her a lot more than you already do.
Yeah, it's very endearing.
Yeah,
and if this is the point with her, and she's eating all the food.
Not yet.
Not yet? Okay.
Not yet.
Yeah,
but like those are the things that I think is really endearing about it.
This is when he brings her to
He's taking her to the priest, yes.
I love what the priest says. He's like, oh, weddings are on the 4th floor. Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations.
But he lays her down and he's just like, I'm just gonna kiss her.
Yeah, a little bit of
what you doing?
A little bit of weird. I mean, he's just so infatuated that like, oh, this just seems like the only logical thing I could do.
Well, I couldn't help myself.
Yeah.
What am I supposed to do?
Like, why don't you care about my feelings? But I love the response, and it's just like, nope, you're an idiot, gun to head,
Yeah.
Wrong move, dumbass. Like, not the right thing to do. Yep, shouldn't have done that. Okay, yeah, that was my fault. And it's like, I love it.
I want to blow your mind here for a second because I don't know if many people know this.
Blow me, Mike.
Huh?
But my mind.
Sorry.
Blow my Fifth Element mind. Anyway, Bruce Willis is on the phone earlier with the fingers, and he even goes, Fingers is gonna kill me. Like there's this Fingers guy. We never meet him.
Yeah.
We only hear him on the phone.
Yep.
Do you know who Fingers was? Who was the voice of Fingers?
Let me take a wild guess. Tom Cruise.
Nope.
Okay.
Alan Rickman.
No.
Okay.
Vin Diesel.
Oh, no shit.
Vin Diesel was the uncredited voice of Fingers on the phone.
What?
And you don't necessarily hear it because he's not turning on the thick family Italian voice. Family. But you go back and listen to it, you're like, that's Vin Diesel.
Wow.
Yeah.
You go back and you can kind of tell because there's a moment where he's like, hey, have a smoke. You can have any beer you want as long as it's Corona with your sushi dinner or whatever.
Corbin, you're fired.
Corbin. Well, that's funny. Why didn't we ever get Bruce Willis as Vin Diesel's dad in Fast? I don't know.
Oh my God.
Sorry, guys. I didn't mean to derail us there, but
Wow.
Yeah.
Why did we never get that?
Why did we never get that? That's really unfortunate.
There's still time.
I think so. I think it could happen.
There's not. Unfortunately.
I think Fingers is such a weird character to me because we think of it and it's like he's an old army buddy or something, and then he like gave him a job. Like Fingers was the successful guy after the war, and he's like
the Fourth Element War.
The Fourth Element War, and then we get to the Fifth Element War, Element War 5, and Corbin Dallas is like. It's like he did Corbin a favor or something. Like, you can come work at my cab company.
It's part of that. There's a lot of unexplained things that are just like, well, what happened to Fingers?
Do you like that kind of stuff in this, or does it bother you at all?
It's unlike they never close out loose ends on stuff.
Yeah,
which is sometimes my problem when you got a long movie that has a lot to take in. Why add the fluff? Like, let's just do what the movie's doing here,
Yeah.
Unless it ties back in somehow.
It's like a continuation. It's like, hey, this is just his life the way it is, and then it gets interrupted. It's like that's how I try to rationalize it. It's like he's just living his life, and he's got all these little problems and stuff. He's trying to quit smoking. He's got too many points on his license. His boss is kind of breathing down his neck, that kind of thing. The army wants him back. you know? And that's how, like, they kind of rationalize it. This is just his life, and then things just change, you know?
I get what you're saying for sure, and like it is a lot to take in, but it does work for me as far as characterization goes. Like, you know, he's talks to his mom, who I hope is voiced by Vin Diesel too. But you want a trip to Flossin, you're not going to invite your mom. I was in labor for 9 months.
I was in labor for 9 months.
But I do. This movie is like a rolling engine as far as like one on top of the other. So like one thing will happen, especially like even in the dialogue, it'll be like it'll bring up a problem, and then immediately like he gets a letter or something.
Yes. Yes.
Or like well, it's all over the radio. It's like I would have heard about it, and then boom, like the letters there. That transition happens all of the time in this movie, and I really love that. Like somebody will say something, and then it happens. It perpetuates the story along so well for me. I do like when he's talking to Vin Diesel's character, Fingers. He's talking to her about Lilu. He's like, about 5'5", red hair. 5'5". He's like on his back. He's like 5'5". And then I wanted to picture like a cut shot of him like rolling on his stomach and his feet up.
Fingers gonna tell me more.
Yeah,
it's Vin
she's
Diesel.
great.
Tell me more. Tell me more.
I kissed her, but I don't think she liked it.
Did she fall in your cab?
Yeah,
tell
she
me
did.
more. Tell me more.
Does she have
lightning,
a dad?
go, grease
Did she
lightning.
come from a lab?
Go all day.
How does he do
We
it?
just wrote Grease 3.
Damn. Grease 3, the fifth element.
But the E is the 3.
Yeah. Grease 5 is what it
Grease
is.
5.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Grease 5 element.
Element.
So scene 3, wealthy industrialist Zorg has attempted to gain the stones as urged by communication with the great evil. Also, the surviving Mangalores decide to extract revenge and gain the stones for themselves. Dallas is later met at his apartment by his General Monroe, who informs him he must travel to meet the diva. Their meeting is interrupted by the arrival of Cornelius and Lilu. Dallas and Lilu go to the airport, board the passenger space plane while Cornelius sneaks aboard.
Go ahead.
Well, I just love how Zorg is dressed. He's dressed like if Prince wore Tupperware on his head.
Yes.
Like it's all Prince, but if he just had like a piece of Glade
Yeah.
on Glade.
Yeah.
Glade Tupperware. Do they make Tupperware? They make candles.
Sure.
Yeah, they just like Rubbermaid on his head.
Yeah.
And it's like I don't know what that is, and I don't know what that's supposed to do.
It's to keep the bad thoughts out and the good thoughts in.
It doesn't work.
Yeah, I know.
No.
Obviously not.
But it's Gary Oldman. So.
I do have to, yeah, and that's what I want to say. It's like Gary Oldman. That's all I just want to say. Just Gary Oldman. We had a great appearance from Gary Oldman in True Romance, and I said to you guys I was so excited to talk about him in this movie. That man is just a chameleon, and I think about him in this role way too often, probably. I don't know what it is. There is just something about him that is equally like terrifying, but also I'm going to laugh at you every time I see you.
Yeah.
Because that hair is just atrocious.
You're scared shitless of him, but kind of want to have a beer with him.
I kind of,
That's probably it's like even Drexel too. It's
Yes.
just like
yeah.
I need to know you a little bit more.
I'm living on the edge of a knife right now by hanging out with you, but,
Yeah.
but I just can't resist. Tell
Yeah.
me more.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
Tell me more.
He is so I hate to say this because again I have not seen this movie. I had not seen True Romance. So like I don't know much about Gary Oldman, and I'm now watching these movies going, is he the most versatile actor ever?
Yes.
Yeah, it's what like he won the Oscar for playing Winston Churchill. Is just like completely transformative. This is him. This is probably Gary Oldman is probably the most chameleon-like actor we have ever had.
I mean,
Because like even Daniel Day-Lewis is arguably the best actor ever.
But you know it's Daniel Day-Lewis.
Exactly.
That's the thing.
And so like when you watch Gary Oldman as Drexel, you're like, what?
That's
I don't think.
Commissioner Gordon?
That's
Yeah.
Commissioner Gordon.
Because that's how I view Gary Oldman. That's how
Yes.
my head goes. That's
Correct.
Gary Oldman.
Yep.
And so then to see him in all these other movies is fucking awesome.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
he was in Leon the Professional as the villain in that too, which is the movie Luc Besson did before this. So he was like doing him a favor being in this movie, and just it was a favor movie. But
Yeah.
he's one of the most iconic villains you could probably even have in a science fiction movie.
Well, and again, it's very similar to what we heard about True Romance. He took this basically without even reading the script.
Yeah.
Like you said, he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm friends with Bassan,
that
so
sounds
I'm
great.
gonna that sounds good." And then he sends him the script, and he's like, "Oh yeah, this will be fun." Like, what the heck, man? And he can just do this. He can just create this. You never see Daniel Day-Lewis. Correct me if I'm wrong, I guess, but do Drexel.
Yeah, no, I don't
Right?
think so.
And then to go to something like this, it's just range, man. And his interaction with the priest, I think, is a great one.
Yeah.
I think it's absolutely hilarious. The two sides of this conversation. Look at all these little robots coming in, and they all have their own little purpose. Think of all the families that come on through and built these robots and all this stuff. And you're just like,
These Roombas.
yeah. Think of all the people that put together these Roombas. All right. And you're just like, yeah, that's a pretty good point. And he's just like, so wait, is Zorg maybe actually making a great point here? I mean, he's an industrialist. He's giving a lot of people a lot of families
And then
jobs.
he's going to take that money that he gets from the great evil and he's going to spend it on, he's probably going to build a big, huge factory and give people more jobs.
More jobs.
More
Yeah.
jobs to build more Roombas.
That's right.
And more and he's going to go,
Roombas.
he's going to go live with the whole head hat thing that's made out of Tupperware. And he's like, I think this is going to be a big seller.
Zorg
he-
Jobs.
Zorg
Chokes on a
Jean-Baptiste Emmanuel Zorg Jobs.
chokes on a cherry again.
Steve Zorg.
You know?
Steve Zorg.
Well, and what a fucking weapon, too, by the
Okay.
way.
So
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh, here's a prop.
Give me that gun.
You can't have a gun.
I'm taking it.
Is
I
that
know.
the best gun ever?
It's
Yes.
the coolest fucking thing, and I love when he's like in the classic flamethrower.
My
favorite.
My favorite.
Why does he have a southern accent?
I
It's
don't
such
know.
a weird choice, but I love
just
it.
love it. It's like it's this whole thing that he came from. That's his descendant.
It's like molasses spilling out his mouth.
Molasses spilling out your mouth.
You know how much I hate soul patches, and I don't mind his.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just fine.
You got a prop?
I got a prop.
What do you got?
Multi-pass.
Do you want your own multi-pass?
I want.
Or you want her multi-pass? Multi-pass.
I want Corbin Dallas's multi-pass.
Ah.
Yeah,
Which one?
exactly. Well, I'm Corbin Dallas.
I'm Corbin Dallas.
I just love it so much.
Okay, here's my thing. I'm going through a midlife crisis. I've been growing my hair out. I had a baby. I think that this is summer. I'm gonna wear a lot of tank tops. I think that's what's gonna happen to me. And I want the orange tank top. I think I'd look pretty cool.
Are you gonna platinum your hair too?
Yeah, I think so.
I think I'm
when
going
I
to.
eventually cut my hair, I think I'm going to platinum it because my receding hairline's the same as Bruce Willis in this movie. So.
Well, it's kind of encouraging.
Yeah, it is. It feels good because I probably am older than Bruce was in this movie. But I'm just going to wear an orange tank top a lot this summer. So
Nice.
I want
that for you.
Bruce's. Yeah,
I like that.
I think it's going to be great.
I love that.
I also really like when he's explaining the gun. He does like the flamethrower, and he's like, in the new ice cube. He's like, the ice cube option. I'm like, he just presses the button. He's like, today was a good day. Like Ice Cube just starts
He
playing.
just starts playing.
That would be fucking awesome.
Was it Friday?
That's right.
Chris Tucker.
Yeah, you get it. You
all
get
right.
it. I
I'll sit
like
back
it.
a little
I
bit.
like that a lot.
AJ, you were going to talk about the scene where she's like basically digesting human culture,
Yeah.
and eating food and learning.
Yeah.
I think this is basically Encino Man.
You think it's Encino Man?
She's a caveman.
She's a caveman.
She's a kid.
But think about it. They find her. She knows nothing about the modern world. It's
Right.
X amount of years later. Now she has to watch television and eat food and learn.
Do you know what she really is?
What she really is?
She's the fifth element. She's the fifth element.
No.
No.
It's fucking great though. It's literally Encino Man. This scene.
I think you're right. And I love this because it also brings me back to Back to the Future 2. It's like, oh Ma, you really can't hydrate a pizza. And she like sprinkles that stuff in. It's like, is that how people get food?
No, I loved it. Especially as a kid, she just puts like a little cube on a plate, and then she puts it in for a second, brings it out. It's an entire chicken meal.
Yeah, it's an entire meal that she's just
so
going
good.
through and like consuming all this knowledge and stuff. And it's like her little, again, it's her little mannerisms that are so endearing about it. It's just like, like walking with that big plate of food, and she's just like, it's just more please. Like, I love it so much.
What about the scene, like, this whole thing where this is where things get weird for me in this movie. The whole, we're sending them, we've got to send you to this island, so we fake rigged a contest, and then, but the cops or the army wants you to go, but we want you to go, but then these guys are coming to get you, but they think you're him, and the movie starts to lose me around this point. And I don't know why. Maybe I just haven't seen it enough times, but it just seems like very hard to follow what's happening and why things are happening.
It gets very fast paced around this point where like they really need to get this. They really need to get you to saving the world. We
got to get there.
We need to get you to saving the world, like the audience. We need to get the audience there with us. I don't know.
And then even taking them to the airport, like a lot of this just seems unnecessary. This whole like, well, I'm Corbin Dallas and I'm Corbin Dallas, and like, does all that really need to happen? Does that enhance the movie? This whole like, we don't know who Corbin Dallas is, and you think you are, and you're trying to get on the plane too, and you want to be the guy that wins the contest.
It does for me because I think it's like a lot of the comedic moments in this where it's just, everyone thinks that they have the solid plan and they're taking the Corbin Dallas persona because they think they can, and everyone, like all the evil and all of the good guys are taking, like, this is their thing. This is what they're hinging their plan on, and I like how it all converges, and then ultimately the real Corbin Dallas gets on with Lilu. It works for me. I think it's funny, and I like that it all converges and then it spreads apart again, and then until the end when they're on the ship all together, it comes together again, but explosively.
It's I like the way you explain that. It's like all of a sudden all these pieces and parts. I was about to say elements. All these pieces and parts like come together at this one point, this like kind of bottleneck point of the airport, or getting onto the ship or whatnot.
It's not an airport, it's a trash dump.
It's a trash dump, yes.
Which is completely unexplained, and I don't understand why.
Sorry about
Go ahead.
They
deleted
say
scenes.
Is it deleted scenes?
Yeah.
I would love to know why.
The only thing they say is like, "Oh, sorry about the trash behind you."
What the fuck?
There was like an alien race or something that was like on strike or something, and they were like the garbage men of New York or something, and they filmed scenes of them like with signs like being on strike in the background, but they took it all out. And
Gotcha.
I'm just gonna ask
another thing where just you really don't need it. Yeah.
Why? Like why? How does that enhance the story?
I think
even in the original script, what does that do to make me be like, yes?
It's it's the same idea. It's the same thing.
I fucking love this movie.
Yeah, no.
Oh, we finally got to the trash.
Look at all the trash.
The guys are picketing. Check it out. It's awesome. They're the garbage men of the world.
Well, and again, I think it's the same. It's the same thought process of why do the buildings have to be like 90 million stories high?
I had that
You
question
know what I mean?
too.
Like why? Like that means that there's people in these buildings at every level, and they're flying at this insane level. Flying cars and all that stuff. It's like it just adds to the. It's like an overwhelming feature of this world.
I think at some point on the radio it says like the 7 million people of New York or something like that. Like it says that some outrageous number of how many people live there, and I think that's the only way to go is up, I guess.
Like to me, it became like a pollution thing, like where the clouds are, and everything. They had to kind of elevate a little bit more to get out of that. It got so toxic.
Get that vitamin D, dude.
That's right.
Because they talk about like, we get to the fog, like when in that car chase.
Yep.
They do talk about, we'll get down to the fog or something like that, and they won't really chase us or something.
It is strange if you really want to dissect this to think about how hard that would be. I was thinking about it in a 3D sense of roads in the future. Like you've got crossing roads on like every, you just go up 10 feet and there's another. And so if you got to get to 7th Street, 4th level, you got to. So like I was thinking about how intricate that is, but then at the very beginning, they show this ring around Earth that's got red lights and green lights.
Yeah.
that is the opposite of three-dimensional because you can literally, space is three-dimensional around the Earth. You could just go up and then come down and just go past red lights, but there's just one ring of roads around the Earth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's
Stoplight zone.
There's one stoplight zone. Like, that's the only way to get to Earth.
Well,
The light says red.
dang it.
Damn dang.
They just haven't thought much.
Gotta make the light.
You think of space as being three-dimensional, and that was the last place they actually made any three-dimensional moves.
That was the last place they decided. It's like, this is just too complicated, guys.
We need to show red light. Okay, we gave him permission. Come on in.
Yeah.
There's not even a gate. It's just like, it's not even Spaceballs. They got an airlock.
I was just
and
going to
stuff like
say,
that.
it reminds me of that so much.
Yeah, they don't have an entrance
That
even.
makes
It's
more
just-
sense if the entire planet was covered, but there was just one garage door that would just open and close.
Because it's ridiculous and practical.
It's ridiculous. Overly practical.
Well, let's move on to scene 4. So on the flight, Dallas meets interstellar radio personality Ruby Rod.
Here he is.
Upon arrival at Floston Paradise, Dallas attends the Divas show and is interrupted by the Mangalores and the Divas fatally shot. Dallas removes the hidden stones from her abdomen, giving them to Ruby Rod to hold as he defeats the Mangalores and saves the rest of the passengers and crew. Zorg fights Lilu at the Divas quarters and takes the case he believes containing the stones while starting a time bomb. Dallas, Lilu, Cornelius, and Ruby Rod leave it on the Zorg ship while Zorg is killed by his own bomb.
I like the little tiny detail too of like, oh, there's parasites on the landing gear. Go get them off, and they just flame throw them off. You guys know what those are?
They just look like little, I've seen them in like toy stores before.
Boglins.
Boglins?
Yeah, they're like the little vibrating
remember
balls
those.
with spikes on them.
That thing, yes. Yes.
They're called Boglins.
That's what they used?
I had one as a kid, and I'm like, that looks. They move just like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, what are those? And then I read they were actually Boglins, just like made up to be like alien looking.
They I just always remember those like in some like almost little playpen thing, and
Yes.
they just like bounce around. And that was it. I was like, I don't even know the point of those things.
Yeah, they're
but-
like jacks.
Yeah.
Like, what fucking.
yeah,
Jack.
yeah,
You
Jax.
just call them jacks. Yeah, like the little X ones.
Yeah.
Like those, but they like bounce around.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's just talk about it.
Do it.
What do we think about Chris Tucker in this movie?
I love it.
Ignites a fire under this movie.
It's a totally different movie once this man steps on
Yes.
stage.
Yep.
It's almost too much. You're just like, wow.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
hold on. I got to reposition myself for the rest of this movie.
Yeah.
And you think of him in like probably his most prestigious role is the Rush Hour movies, right? That's why people will probably think about him and Friday.
I think of Chris Tucker always as Friday.
I think
that's
of Friday.
kind of how I picture
Jackie
him.
Brown. I love him in Jackie Brown.
Yeah.
If it's not Friday, it's Rush Hour for me,
Right,
and I'm
right.
just like, yeah. And then you have this as this like secondary layer of like, I think showing some major range for
Absolutely.
him, even though I know it's just like peak Chris Tucker, but it's
Redlining at all times.
man,
Just-
yeah, exactly, Ruby redlining.
Yeah, I don't. And I know Chris Tucker took a lot of like I know Prince was supposed to be in this role, but Chris Tucker took a lot of inspiration from Michael Jackson for this role. Just like the kind of outgoingness, at least on stage anyway, of his personality. And yeah, once he's on, it's just on, and like.
It's like you can't get him back in the bottle once he's out.
Seeing Mila Jovovich in this like kind of transformative and everything, and Gary Oldman, I think this is Chris Tucker at his most playful and his most best. Like I just think he looks like he's having such a good time.
Yeah.
And I love it.
He might as well have just been like I think we were all begging for him to have a role like this. You see him in Friday, how animated he even gets in that role, how animated he will get in Rush Hour, but to be able to see him in like just, hey, we're gonna make you a cartoon.
We're going
Go.
even further than you've gone before.
And then loving to see it against Bruce Willis.
Yes.
When he's just like, how's it going, my man? Great. Amazing.
Unbelievable.
yeah.
I do want to go on record and say that I know this was based on Prince, and I know everyone loves Prince. I love Prince's music. Prince could never, ever, ever, ever have pulled this off. Prince is was way too, like, he would have cared way too much about things, and he would have thought way too hard about, like, well, I'm not going to do that, and I'm not going to say that, and you know who I am, I'm Prince. Chris Tucker was like, got it, let's go.
He thought it was too flamboyant, like the outfits and everything.
Prince did?
Prince thought this role was too
Prince,
flamboyant.
have you looked at yourself?
I mean, he's
the
like
day before you said that.
He's like I don't know if he like wants to go by that or wanted to go like the androgynous king queen, you know?
Yeah.
Like he was sexy to everybody.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and so again with Prince though, Prince is when he's on stage, he might be Ruby Rod, but when he is and you talk anytime you hear people talking about Prince, when he walked into a room, he floated through that room.
Yeah.
He wasn't a bombastic presence through the room because he was overly flamboyant or anything. He was a presence because people saw him and were like,
that's Prince.
He was a purple cloud just going through the room. He just
floated through, and then when he hit a stage, he just exploded.
Watch the movie Purple Rain and watch Prince's acting job in that, and tell me that he could have done this.
We're gonna cover that, right?
Yeah. There was a funny moment. Ruby Rod's having sex with the stewardess.
Oh yeah,
and that was just such an eccentric scene of just like all these things happening at once to building up to a liftoff.
We want the explosion.
It's a very French thing, I felt like.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, French. Yeah, okay. Make the sex happen when the rocket takes off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it didn't go to black and white.
But he makes a comment and he said, I never felt this way before with a human.
Yeah.
So that indicates one of two things for Ruby Rod. Ruby Rod is either an alien species.
Yeah.
Or he's had sex with strictly aliens.
Yes.
Hey, everyone's got a type.
Just saying.
Everyone's got a type, man.
I don't know. Don't care, but I wanted to point it out.
That's right. I think it's a great note. And yeah, he's, I bet he's probably gotten freaky with just a lot of different species. I think that's great.
Kidding me? Of
course.
It's
great for him.
What the hell is Zorg excreting from his Tupperware head?
During this
you mean
time?
when the Great Evil shows up?
Yeah.
Is it blood again?
It's the same as the general from the beginning.
So is it like what's it? What do you think that is? What do you think? Like, is that just like a combination of sweat, blood, and tears and
rock and roll
and shit?
I think it's evil. I think the evil gets into their head and makes a little hole and just starts squeezing blood out of it. Just
it's another thing
just
that's
to
never
show you what it can do.
Another thing that's never explained, but I like that it's not explained because
Yeah.
I want to like have theorized.
I don't want that to happen.
Right.
No.
I don't want that.
I don't want to see.
Nobody wants that.
I don't want to see complete evil and start shitting out of my head.
Yeah, because like I kept thinking it's blood, but I'm like, is that black?
It looks like oil.
Is it like black blood?
Black blood.
That's the worst kind.
Yeah.
It's a liver shot.
Ow.
You don't like that.
You don't want that, guys.
It's not good either.
What do you guys think about all of a sudden we're at an opera now and we're listening to opera music?
The blue xenomorph.
What do you think about the blue xenomorph?
Yeah, it looks Majin Blue from Dragon Ball Z.
Majin Blue.
Avatar. It's one of the Avatarians.
Avatar. Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently that's my win. That was Luc Besson's fiance on set.
The one that played the physical creature was my win.
And I like it a lot. And the makeup's great, and I like the fact that Luc Besson hid her from the cast. Until she went on stage. So when he cuts to like Bruce Willis, his reaction is genuine. Like he was like in awe of what he was seeing and
I
hearing.
think hearing it too, because that was a pre-recorded opera that was sang by Inva Mola, is the one that actually sang that. And they said that it was so impossible. Like those were not humanly possible to achieve. The voice cannot change notes that fast, even if you're that good. So a lot of it was spliced together to make that final
modulated
product.
A little bit.
Yeah, but it made me think of like the greatest female singing performances that I've ever heard. Like that is clearly one who, even if that was enhanced, that's fucking unreal. The shit he was doing, the notes she was changing to. But I think of two more. I think of Claire Torrey is in Pink Floyd, Great Gig in the Sky. You know that?
Oh yeah. Yeah,
that's one of the best. But in my opinion, one of the best recorded, most mind-blowing female things is Rodleen Getzik. She's in Knife Party by Deftones in that middle section where it sounds like she's being killed, like scream. She holds a note for like 34 seconds.
Whoa.
With multiple inflections, and I'll play it for you after this. But I love that kind of insanity in vocal, like some of those operatic women.
I'll give you one.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not really like operatic or compared to.
I don't even know if that's a word, by the way.
No, I like it. I'm Not Afraid to Die by Gillian Welsh. It's in the movie Hell or High Water.
Okay.
It's like just an acoustic and this woman singing. I think it is my favorite female vocal performance of all time. I love it.
Damn.
That and Cat Power did a cover of Nina Simone's song. Oh my God! Just look it up. Just go.
I guess I know what we're going to be doing on our private Patreon bonus episode.
How about that?
Yeah. There you go.
Take that.
But wait, hold on.
Okay, go ahead.
But there is one thing I do hate so much about this opera thing. I loved it. Actually strangely fit going on with like fighting and everything. But when it turned into it had a beat to it all of a sudden, and she's going, she's dancing really weird on stage.
Like
I fucking literally was like, I fucking hate this.
You're
the minute
upset
she started
about
going, I was like, nope,
Yeah.
I can't. I don't want this ever in my life ever again.
You were out.
Yes, I was immediately out.
I was out when she started to do. I'm like,
Solid right there.
I mean, it's great.
It's good.
Oh, mine?
Continue.
Oh, thank you.
Oh no, I was gonna say. So were you just like, were you sitting there in the opera thinking to yourself, oh God, somebody shoot me? Because I bet if anybody else was, they were like, thank God.
Wow, thank you, God.
Thank you, God.
It's like
you, God.
Bert Kreischer's bit about Isla. It's like, yeah, we need a school shooter right now.
Whoa.
Like, no, you got your wish.
Like, but there is a point, and then it's like the stones are inside me, and it's like, how'd they get there?
Yeah,
Those stones existed before.
Listen, we all love "This Is Exile" or "Exile on Main Street," and like I feel like their songs are in me too, but I don't really feel them like it bricks in
The
my
actual
stomach.
vinyl's not inside of
No,
you.
no, not at all.
Well,
It was a fun joke.
and
That's good. That's a good joke. I just came up with it. It's fun.
how'd they get there? That's what I want to know. Just how'd they get there? And that's a lot of stones. Have you see how big those things are? She was in too great a shape to have those floating around.
Are those like her organs too?
No, they can't be. What happens if like
No,
no one
they-
shoots? If no one shoots her, then she's like, "Come with me," and they go to her suite, and
Yeah.
she's like,
True.
"I have the stones."
No, she's like,
right? Like she know. Well, what happens here?
He dies
they-
violently either way.
They go back to her suite, and then they do the thing of like, here, just wait here. I'm gonna slip into something. I'm gonna slip out something more comfortable, and then she just goes into the bathroom, and it's just,
Oh wait,
oh,
it was. Oh my God! It wasn't in her.
poops.
It wasn't in her stomach. It was shoved inside of her so she could poop it out.
Right.
It wasn't just like under her skin.
Oh, she was smuggling them.
She was
Yeah.
smuggling.
yeah,
it.
she's a mule.
she's a mule. Yeah. So I mean,
What if that's the only way she sings that good?
they all come out and they're just all wrapped in like a balloon, just like each one individually, just
Like literally condoms.
It's like, oh, these are suppositories. Got it. Okay,
They're
that's
Mangalore
super strange.
condoms. They're bigger than most.
Mangalore condoms.
So this whole like shootout action scene is fantastic. What, Mike? Your first watch. What did you think about all this?
Yeah, I was overwhelmed by how much was going on because there was this and then there was that and this scene was happening and that scene was happening. But yeah, it took a turn I didn't see that was going to happen. Like all of these characters are meeting together, like in this moment almost, you know, and all these things are happening. This would have been the Return of the King. If this was going to be a trilogy, this would have been the third movie.
Yeah.
All of this whole everything on the ship. You know.
Yeah.
I thought it was good.
I thought it was a lot of fun. Like this whole thing. I mean, it's a long sequence.
It is.
It's a long sequence for a lot of action, and there's different there's different parts of this action because you have what's happening with like Lilu, and then you have what's happening obviously in the main parts of the ship. I really like a lot of his, and I also really like the end of it when what's the guy's name? He's the head of security, and he was in There's Something About Mary, and I don't know, I can't remember his name, But
I think that's not Alman. Lee Evans.
Lee Evans, is that him?
I'm pretty sure that's Lee Evans.
I love the part where he's just like, I've never negotiated before.
Mind if I give it a shot?
Mind if I give it a shot? And he just goes in. Cavs is like, anyone else want to negotiate? That is the most powerful, badass Bruce Willis scene in a movie I think I've ever seen in my life.
Hey, all right. Yeah.
I love it so much that he just goes in there, one to the head, and it's just like, you take out the leader, they all just fall apart.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, that is awesome.
Seems like a flawed system. Seems like you want like a second in command or like even a third in command. Or
yeah, you would think, right?
But I do love like the action scenes, and then you have Ruby Rod along with this ultimate badass. The complete opposites. Come on, oh my god.
When he sees like the Mangalores come on, man. Oh my god. Come on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
I did have to rewatch this though because I noticed something. I expected this mega. Who's the main protagonist of this movie? Is it Corbin?
I would say so.
Who's the main antagonist of this movie? Is it Korg? I mean, I know ultimately it's Zorg, yeah.
I would say so. It's the most tangible one.
Okay,
I mean,
so you've got these two people that are making their way for this epic collision. They're never once on screen together.
Never have a scene
Very
together.
good point.
I love that.
Yeah, I'm not saying good or bad. I'm just saying I was waiting for it.
I think that's
and then you're like, oh,
God, that's
he
a
died.
Good point.
It's really like the battle of good and evil. Like you never like this like those putting them into words. Like you never like see them.
It's not
tangibly together, you know.
It's not a final showdown.
They are just always fighting, and they're always like they don't even know each other exist.
Yeah,
it's not like Star Wars where they're both going to show up with lightsabers and have some sort of duel of like equal duel
with Darth Maul.
You know what I mean? It's not that because in this world, Zorg is even with all his guns is never going to be a match for Corbin Dallas. That's not his brand of evil. His is a strategic one, whereas Corbin Dallas is certainly more of just a shoot first, ask questions later, you know. So I don't know.
I love the bit of the countdown, and when he gets on his ship with the briefcase, like they're not here. I like just the transition of like so elated and confused, and then to actually sadness, and then he gets back on the ship. And there's 5 seconds left. Drops that. The ignition card, and then the other bomb comes out. I just love that's what I mean by like things on top of each other. It's just like, oh well, he got it, but then it's like, oh, this other group character that he betrayed before is there, and they're just going to destroy. It works really, really well for me.
I think it's very smart. I think it's very smart that he's able to disarm and then it's all for naught.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I do like that a lot.
Just think about the poor bastards back on Earth right now that have been working hard for a couple years, saving their money for a vacation to Floston Paradise. And they turn on the news and then they're supposed to leave tomorrow. And they're like, Floston Paradise is blown up. It's gone. You're like, what the fuck?
God.
I was going there tomorrow. That's like your cruise ship. You're going on.
But like I'd be the opposite. Be like, oh, cool. I can get a lot more work done then.
What the fuck?
We've been saving for this for 5 years.
The people that took my money were on that shit.
It's basically like people seeing like the Titanic happen, hearing about it in the news.
There were people that were in America ready to then get on the boat and take it back across the ocean.
Right.
It sank before you got there. Wow. I think we're going to fly.
Well, can I get my money back?
Yeah. Well,
I know this is a bad time to ask, but I need my money back.
I know it's not good for you guys, but however, we've got a backup.
I don't know who I got to talk to, who you got to talk to, but can we get some money back, please?
The guy, I just want to make mention of the guy, Ray, give me the gun,
Yeah.
That guy, again,
it should have been Will Ferrell.
We've talked. It should have been Will Ferrell.
Should have been
Mugatu, basically.
Yeah.
Dude, I think I've said a couple times like we should have a most like huggable face. That guy is the most huggable face.
I love it.
And like he's got all the women like surrounding him, being like, "Oh," and he's even just being humble. He's like, "I really didn't do much. I swear. I just threw the thing over to him.
It was just instinct.
Yeah, exactly. He's like being very humble about it. Oh, you poor thing, baby. It's like so funny. I love it.
All right, final scene, guys. The four return to the temple on Earth as the great evil rushes toward the planet. The heroes arrange the stones in the temple to form their weapon. Dallas then convinces Lilu to perform her role, embraces her, and kisses her. At this point, Lilu releases the weapon's divine light, causing the great evil to become a new moon in Earth's orbit. Dallas and Lilu make love.
I do like after all this is over.
Nice.
After all this is over, Ruby Rao's like, that's the best show I ever did.
Yeah.
It's like, guys, all we need to do is get some like dog-like aliens to invade our studio here. And then we need a hot redhead.
Okay.
And then we need some stones of some sort.
Stones.
5 of them.
Yeah.
4, and then the hot redhead.
Yeah.
And then we need to save the world, and we can have the best podcast ever.
That's the key.
I think that's the goal that we should just strive for the show if we want to have a good radio program.
Is Craig the divine light?
Yes.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Obviously. Okay, great.
Aggro Crag. Rock.
Aggro Craig.
Stone.
There you go. Aggressive rock.
Yeah.
He is.
I think I told you that story about the Mighty Ducks. Go back and listen to our episode of a buddy of mine when we were watching D2 in a pack theater. He goes, Charlie Conway, Duluth, Minnesota. Guy Goldberg, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And he goes, Mark Rosberg, Marion, Iowa, in the pack theater. This moment, I just wish I could have been there. Because when he's like, V's good. What are some words that begin with V? Well, valiant, vulnerable, very... That is the perfect timing for a 14-year-old kid to go, vagina! And I sincerely hope that happened at some point.
Yeah.
In fact, if The Fifth Element ever plays at our local theater, I'm going to go and yell vagina.
Yes.
At that time.
That's the only reason to go.
It's really, at this point, it's the only reason I would probably go.
Yeah.
Oh,
We'll see what you think about it. But yeah, it was on the tip of every man's tongue watching this movie. I know it was.
Hey, let's just try to get the word vagina in everyone's head without saying it.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude. A word that starts with V. Immediately, every man. I don't care who you are.
Vagtastic voyage.
Craig,
Hello?
a word that starts with V. He doesn't want to say it.
I also found it weird why when they got to this temple and they opened it up, where was the Bushlight robot that got stuck inside it?
Yeah.
That's true.
Like, where was it?
Did it break down over this whole time?
So like they don't need oxygen, right? I mean,
I guess not.
or even if
He had a spacesuit.
So he
Oh, you
should
mean
be
you're
alive.
thinking he's going to be alive?
He
not
should
gonna
be
be
alive. Let alone even if he died, he should be like right there, just going. Like,
Wait, you're talking about the one who's like
The
arm
very
got
beginning.
cut off?
the one that clearly being a superior race, they don't move very fast.
Yes.
That he could have made it.
Yes.
He's going to be like, they walk in and he's just.
Finally.
Oh, hey, guys.
Did you bring the key? I was waiting, and they could have at least like stepped over his body or something like that.
Well, wasn't
what?
the one,
What the fuck's that? What?
the one who got caught in there was
Yeah.
the one whose arm got cut off, though.
Yeah.
That's Lilu.
Oh,
Yeah.
So Lilu's gonna see herself.
wait,
no, it's not.
No, they
No.
can't be because
They just take the key from that. It's not the arm.
Yeah,
they
yeah.
blow up the ship, and she's
yeah,
not
and then
on
this
it.
is 300 years later when the ship blows up and they have the genetic DNA. So,
I see.
so no,
okay.
it's not. You
so the
almost. Oh wow.
Terminator.
That'd have been cool. That'd
So
have
it's
been
not
really cool.
Terminator arm thing. It's
No.
okay.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. It was a different Lilu.
A different
superior
T1000.
being.
Different.
Okay. Different T1. Okay. Different T100. Got you.
T100.
Perfect. Okay. No, you're right. It's where was that thing? Because if there's not much oxygen in there, that means the suit's not really going to rust.
No,
I mean,
great, dude.
right? It's gonna It's gonna stand this
But
test.
you
of
see that,
time.
like, I mean, it's a big thing. It's a big outfit too.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure there's like an entertainment center in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Like whatever kind of things that the MAGA Shawns watch.
Magas.
Mojo Shaun. No, I don't like that. Yeah, like I'm sure there's, and he's got some Ed, Ed and Eddie in there or something.
The stones, using the stones and everything. What did you like? I really liked this part of it, especially when they got to the fire one. But I have such a problem with Wish Colin Hanks.
Yeah.
That's like, we're not gonna make it.
My hands are shaking because I'm nervous.
Yeah. But I really did think it was cool how they eventually like got to this point, or you know, it's like Clement, I don't smoke. If I knew, you know, that kind of thing. And he's got the one match, like,
and you see it earlier.
Basically,
too.
it's like
That is
Cobra.
He had because he had two and he pulled one out to light.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, my girlfriend or my fiance was watching it with me, and she's like, "That's gonna come back later," and I'm like, "Fuck, how'd you know?"
I love you.
Will you let it happen?
No, I like. Will you just let art flow over you once in your life? No, I like the plot device of this. I like the elements. You know, he puts the sand on the earth one, and it's cool. I like it how it all comes together.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind this. The final, like, we did it. We defeated the evil. This is how it was. But then there's three things at the very end that I'm not happy with. I fucking, first of all, let's get out of the way. I hate the freeze frame. What are we doing? We're freeze framing. It very rarely works. Number two, you're bringing back the stupid fucking mom call right now to make this funny. You're bringing this back? The mom's calling the president?
Talks to the president. The president's an idiot. I don't even know.
I hate that. And the one thing that I don't buy is the love story necessarily between Lilu and Corbin. And here's why I don't buy it. They are only ever together like 3 times in this movie. And not for long at all. It's like in the cab, not long. 2, going to the airport. And then when they get on the space shuttle, they go to sleep. Then she is already gone. They never like reconvene until he gets her when she's wounded, and then they show up in the place. So like, there's not enough time for these guys to fall in love.
Yeah,
It's
agree.
love at first, second, and third sight, Mike. Okay,
I just don't buy that.
And 4th until you get to the 5th.
Oh!
No, I was thinking that while watching this too. I'm just like, yeah, this seems like a little forced, especially when he's like, tell me, say it to me. Say it to me, please. I need to hear it. He's like,
I mean, I like you.
Tell
I just got out of a relationship. I don't know how I feel about
exactly.
this.
Like,
Tell her, Corbin.
I don't know. And he seems like I have a tumultuous relationship with his mom. He's got to work that out.
Fuck
I think
that.
Yeah, it seemed a little. They definitely have chemistry for sure. But I think I'm on top. I'm with you when you say you don't buy the love angle.
We could have ended the movie in a different way.
It honestly
I didn't
seems like
the
he's
end of-
forcing it on himself while he's telling. He's like, I love you. Yeah. Why not?
I think I love you.
I just want to fuck you. I love you.
We had to save. Look, we had to save the planet, but I just think we need to take some time. He's not great with relationships. He's not a great relationship with his mother. He's divorced or broken up with the previous one. I mean, it seems like it's a little
Where
fast.
are they going to live?
Yeah, where are they going to live?
She's the divine, perfect being.
They going to sleep on that twin bed that he's got?
Yeah.
They're not going to stay
In
in
his-
that pod
in
the
his-
whole time.
No.
Yeah, in his Hey
How'd they get
Arnold
in there?
apartment. Like, I mean, come on. It's just not going to happen.
Was Corbin having them 3D dimension like a bigger penis or something? Is that how they were in there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, anything's possible. In there.
Anything's possible. You got the DNA.
Yeah.
Why do you think he needed a bigger one? Maybe
She's
maybe
the divine being.
Yeah, but maybe it was the perfect size for the divine being. Mike.
I don't know.
Bruce Willie.
And with that, we have dissected this movie with a modern eye, you guys.
Just
We've
seen
done scene by scene is the perfect way to end it. We got to give this a modern day rating. Shaun, let's start with you on this one.
I think it's really fun. I think that it kind of still holds up as far as like my nostalgic love for this. But watching it nowadays, I do find here and there some flaws. I really don't feel the length in this movie, to be honest, which I've found surprising. But it is. I really have nothing to say about it other than nothing negative to say other than just it maybe is a lot to take in, and then, but still kind of works for me. So it's a very confusing, conflicting thing for me. I think it's just strictly entertaining, and on an entertainment level, it absolutely provides that. And I will revisit this probably anytime. I'm going to give this this is a high 3.5 for me on Letterboxd. I'm going to say this is a 7.895.
7.8. I'm going to call that a 7.9.
There you go.
How dare you?
You can't.
You
can only
son of a-
fine 7.89. Okay, AJ, what about you?
Um,
You can't have 3 digits in decimals. It messes my system up.
This is your little chart thing.
I think it's one of these movies that, although I don't seek it out like a ton, every time I see that it's available, I'm really excited to watch it or click on it. It's like, oh, it's on Netflix again. It came back around for Netflix, and it's like, oh, awesome. Fifth Element, like I'm going to click on that. Does it seem like just a long-winded version of like Captain Planet? Yeah. But at the same time, I do think it's highly entertaining. It's a wonderful cast of just giants that all bring their element to this movie. God damn it, they're a part to this movie. Hey, consider the 5 elements of this movie, right? Bruce Willis and his action stardom, Gary Oldman and being the amazing chameleon that he is, Mila Jovovich for just being an on-screen female badass who kicks ass, and then you've got Chris Tucker in there as well. What do I got? Is that 4? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Luke Perry.
And then you've got Luke Perry. Thank you so
R.I.P.
much.
Luke Perry.
90210. I do think it's highly entertaining, like Shaun said. Do I think it's still the great movie that it is? No, but even so, a lot of the special effects still hold up for me. So honestly, I really do think that that this movie is. I think that this movie is a 7.3.
7.3 for AJ. So yeah, this is my first watch, and I did very much enjoy it. I was glad it wasn't Event Horizon or 12 Monkeys. I'm glad it was a different movie. The thing I'm struggling with is that I liked lately, we've done so many movies. I like to compare it. I like to find the closest comparison movie, and I like to see what I gave that rating as a baseline to say, was it better or worse than that? And I felt this movie was like The Mummy in a weird way. I felt The Mummy and Fifth Element because there's like comedy and it's like a lot going on and it's kind of sci-fi and there's all this stuff and we got to save the world. And I felt they were very similar movies, but I think The Mummy was better overall. There was some stuff I loved about this movie. There's some stuff I was just like, maybe I just need to watch it more, or maybe I needed it in my childhood to get to a point where I could appreciate it. Loved so many performances, but like for me, the second half of the movie really just kind of goes, okay. I liked the first half a lot better than the second half in a weird way. Loved Chris Tucker, but I think they overused him. Like I would have been great if Chris Tucker's character had died on the ship. Like, don't come with us to the temple too. Like it just felt like it was just things went on a little too long. Maybe I'm wrong in that. So I have to give it slightly less than I gave The Mummy. And maybe that's my problem. Maybe I need to revisit The Mummy, but I'm going to give this a 6. Okay. So Starling, executive producer who chose this movie, he says, watching the movie now, I can appreciate how visually beautiful the film is. The world Luc Besson created still feels artistically relevant today. I find it hard to believe this was made in 1997. The movie was so 90s with Luke Perry's unnecessarily casting, but how can you not love the few minutes he's on screen? The music and the casting are extremely multicultural with Egyptian, Middle Eastern, and Jamaican music adding to each scene. Music, but no real vocals. Musically, you cannot really date the film. That's a good point. Besson set up 2263 very much the Star Trek approach. It is going to be diverse. Did I buy Tom Lister as a president? I didn't. He seemed more like a general, but I loved him in this movie. A mixture of beautiful people from all backgrounds, and no offense to anyone, but the hottest bald woman in one movie I've ever seen. Try to think of who that is.
The one of the handlers for the Mywin character.
Ah, you're right.
Yeah, she was very good looking.
Gorgeous. As for Bruce Willis, he was a true movie
star.
Maybe
he was a dude, too. I don't know.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, that's what my mind went.
He was a true movie star in this role. He's a stud in the blonde hair and sporting an orange tank throughout half the movie. Everything he says and the way he carries himself is ultra cool, which may just be the Bruce Willis way, but it works in this movie. Lilu falls for him. The president listens to him. The priest follows him, and the diva immediately trusts him. He looks so good and so badass. This isn't just an action star. He's a sexy leading man in this. He's carrying the senses and not just the action ones. For 20 years now, I've been trying to understand how Lilu came from those giant aardvarks, but it's something I must accept and move on. The movie introduced us to concepts that would later be our realities. Lilu comes to life with 3D printing, Brooklyn becomes a thriving city, and Zorg has a Roomba. We're on the same page here. If the food trucks could float outside my window, my life would be complete.
Hell yeah.
Indeed.
Lilu has a unique arc in the movie. First, she's the hot body in the glass case. Then she is the childlike creature that first must be protected. Then comically learns our ways. Then she evolves to a fighting machine who gets overstimulated from the destruction she's witnessed in one day. She has more input than Johnny Five. One of my favorite scenes is when we have no effing clue what she's saying, but laugh with her as she explains they figured out to switch the case of stones. I'm not a gun guy, but I do kind of want ZF1 as my prop. Can't have it. Sorry, Shaun already took it. Zorg was my first introduction to Gary Oldman. He's so good with evilly capitalist with the best analogy for financial benefits of destruction. I have never quite understood if all life is destroyed, that he is not going with it, or who is left to pay him. That's something to think about.
Yeah.
See?
He doesn't want to rule the universe, just profit from it. How he chose to use a Southern gentleman's accent, which gave opposite of the usual effect and somehow added to his evil. I never realized how under the radar his death was until now. He just got blown up. No battle scene. He just thought he stopped a bomb that someone else restarted. Simple. Poof. We have bigger fish to fry. I would punch David in the face if technically he wasn't the one who figured out how to save the world. How is he supposed to be the next priest? Exactly. Wish Colin Hanks.
Wish Colin Hanks.
Ruby Rod comes into the movie almost exactly at the halfway mark. He has a character come into a movie so late with so much impact since Cousin Eddie from Christmas Vacation.
Well played.
Great comparison.
This is a characterization that could have destroyed Chris Tucker's career if it had not gone well. I'm pretty sure they had Ruby go down on that flight attendant just to put the 1990s audience at ease with his sexuality. It's a really fucking good point.
Yeah, true.
But once they did that, it totally opened him to be as flamboyant as he wanted to be. Also, considering the era of the films when this came out, he could have easily been a villain in a Joel Schumacher Batman.
Definitely.
I love that he gets the fourth element. Why do I have to get the broken one? Father, do you smoke? I'm still laughing. Rating this movie today and watching with a critical eye, I never appreciated how beautifully this film was shot. 4 main characters, a soldier, an alien, a priest, and a DJ, offer most of the story with perfect balance. I am only bored twice in this movie. The first half, the scene when they first meet the priest, and the whole speech about the earth is worth saving because of love. The love speech always loses me, but when you look at it from Lilu's perspective, she's been shot at every scene in the film, so maybe fuck Earth. I get it.
Yeah.
I will always watch this movie. I will always look for it if it has been a few years since seeing it. It was ahead of its time, and for that, I will give it an 8.5.
Nice.
Wow.
Honestly, I might still be a 9, but watching this critically and taking notes took me out of a few moments. Why do I have a weird feeling AJ has never seen this? You were close. It was me.
Too bad.
So, guys, that takes us to a 7.42 for an overall rating. I apologize for bringing it down, but that's just how it goes. 7.42 takes this to number 47 on our list. Just below Fast Times at Ridgemont High, just above Clue.
I like it.
I think it lives very well there. I'm glad it's in top 50.
That's what I'm
Comfortable
saying.
spot for it.
And you never know. We're going to have to change a couple of those ratings at some point. Yeah. So hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Thanks for being here. Tune in next week for Super Mario Bros.
Oh, God.
In honor of the new one. We had to do it. Followed by the first Harry Potter movie, which is an AJ choice. We're going to hit that up. Also, if you're new to the podcast, go back this time last year. Tremors.
Yeah, buddy.
It's a fun episode.
The best fuck you ever on screen.
That's
Go
what
back.
we're saying. And revitalized by the latest Mentos commercial we made out of Tremors.
Yeah,
That's my favorite one.
And don't forget, we have a voicemail. Call us at 319-804-9596. Leave us some feedback like today's caller.
Guys, it's your boy Zach, a.k.a. Peter Fitz.
Hey.
I just listened to the Airheads episode. Then I had to listen a second time. I had to make sure that what I heard was right when I heard you say all this garbage about this cinematic masterpiece with a completely bitchin' soundtrack. I have to say, I feel betrayed. BC Dubs, I can't believe you didn't mention the first time you referenced this movie was back in the Three Ninjas episode, your theory on the surf bad guys becoming the Sons of Thunder. Also, Michael McKean being metal royalty because, hello, Spinal Tap.
Yeah.
Most punchable is Mr. Nipple Ring. Prof is the naked pictures of B. Arthur. I would love to get into all the ways you were wrong, but we don't have that kind of time in a voicemail. After jamming us to Motorhead, I had to go back and listen to some old episodes. Anyway, I pondered over those old episodes like a battered wife looking through an old photo album, trying to convince herself she's not in an abusive relationship. They don't mean to hurt me. They just had too much to drink that one time. If you could only see the way they used to be, you would understand how much they care. Your reviews cut deep. Then I fell in love all over again when you discussed my cock. Seriously, though, love you guys. Keep up the great work. PCU would be outstanding.
Yes, it would.
Look forward to Big Trouble in Little China. You're the best around. Nothing's going to ever keep you down. Okay, bye.
Love you, man.
It's pretty much how you do a voicemail right there. I mean, it's kind of, we cut you deep, we hurt you, but you're always going to come back.
We bring you back.
We bring you back in.
Yep. Just like the unfortunate reference that you kind of made.
Very unfortunate
there. But
reference.
Hey,
but
you know what?
That is your call to say whatever you want. That's what our voicemail's for.
I respect it. I respect it. And I respect you for leaving us a review and listening to this podcast. Leave us that 5-star review, guys. And make sure you find us on social media at Confused Breakfast, just about anywhere. And make sure you also check us out on YouTube. We got the new set. Check it out. It's dope.
Go to confusedbreakfast.com to check out our merch. We got some coffee mugs. We got some shirts. We got some shirts with our sayings on it. We got shirts with our logo on it. You can also go to confusedbreakfast.com and see our ratings of every movie we've ever done. See this one? It did hit top 50, 47, right?
Yeah.
All right. And you can see our individual ratings as well as the show ratings all on its own. I gotta pee.
Best way you can support this podcast, talk to all of our sponsors. Go use those codes we give you. Go buy some cool stuff from our sponsors. And also check us out at patreon.com/confusedbreakfast. Support this podcast. Join, get all kinds of bonus perks there. We are produced by Upload Media Group here in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Craig, man in the controls. Thanks, Craig.
Thank you, Craig.
UploadMediaGroup.com. Also, we are part of the Cloud 10 iHeart Podcast Network. Learn more there at cloud10.fm. That's it for us. So long.
Love you.
Gotta pee.
You're all the fifth element.